What if some of the fruits you eat every day contained compounds that have been studied for their ability to affect cells at a very deep level? You've probably seen headlines like, "This fruit kills cancer cells," or "This one can heal disease." And I know how those claims sound. Too strong, too good to be true. But here's the part most people don't understand. Behind those exaggerated statements, there is actually real science being studied. Not in the way it's often presented, but in a much more precise and much more interesting way, because certain fruits contain natural compounds that researchers have looked at in relation to cell protection, inflammation, and how the body responds to stress at a cellular level. My name is Dr. Adrian Keller, and today I'm going to show you 4 fruits that have been linked to these effects and explain what science actually says about them, because once you understand what's really happening, you'll start seeing these foods very differently. Let's take a closer look. Before we get into the fruits themselves, there's something important we need to clarify. No single fruit, no single food can cure cancer or heal disease on its own. And anyone telling you that is oversimplifying something that is far more complex. But here's where things get interesting. Certain foods, especially some fruits, contain compounds that have been studied for how they interact with cells and how they may support the body's natural defense systems, not as a cure, but as part of a much bigger picture. I often explain it like this. Your body already has systems designed to protect and repair itself. What you eat can either support those systems or make them work harder. And over time, that difference matters. So instead of thinking in terms of cure, it's more accurate and more useful to think in terms of support, because that's where nutrition plays its real role. Now let's take a quick look at what's actually happening inside your body, because once you understand that, the rest becomes much clearer. So what is actually happening inside your body when we talk about these fruits? It comes down to a few key processes. The first is something called oxidative stress. Every day, your body produces unstable molecules known as free radicals. These molecules can damage cells over time, especially when they accumulate. Now, your body has its own defense system to manage this, but when that balance is off, cellular stress increases, and that's where certain foods come in. Many fruits contain compounds known as antioxidants. These compounds help neutralize free radicals, supporting the body's ability to protect itself at a cellular level. The second factor is inflammation. Inflammation is a natural response, but when it becomes chronic, it can contribute to long-term health issues. Some plant compounds found in fruits have been studied for their role in helping regulate inflammatory processes. And the third is how cells behave under stress. In laboratory settings, researchers have observed that certain natural compounds may influence how abnormal cells grow or respond. Now, this is where things are often misunderstood, because what happens in a controlled lab environment is very different from what happens in the human body, but it still gives us valuable insight. It shows us that these compounds are biologically active and that what we eat can interact with our body in ways that go far beyond basic nutrition. Now, with that in mind, let's look at the first fruit on our list, because this one is one of the most studied. The first group is berries: blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. Small fruits, but incredibly dense in nutrients. What makes them stand out is their high concentration of antioxidants, especially a group called anthocyanins. These are the compounds that give berries their deep red, blue, and purple colors, and they've been widely studied for their role in helping protect cells. I often tell my patients, color in food often signals activity, and in this case, that color represents compounds that interact with your body in meaningful ways. In laboratory studies, anthocyanins have been observed to help reduce oxidative stress and influence how certain cells respond to damage. Now again, this does not mean berries kill cancer cells in the human body, but it does show that they contain compounds that may support your body's natural defense systems, and when consumed regularly, they can contribute to a healthier internal environment over time. What I recommend is simple. Include a variety of berries in your routine, fresh or frozen, both work, because consistency is what makes the difference. Now let's move on to the next fruit. This one contains a compound that has gained a lot of attention in research. The second fruit is grapes, especially dark grapes. What makes them unique is a compound called resveratrol. Resveratrol has been widely studied for its potential role in supporting heart health and influencing how cells respond to stress. You'll often hear it mentioned in discussions about aging and overall cellular health. In laboratory settings, resveratrol has shown interesting effects on inflammation and on certain cellular pathways. But here's what's important to understand. The amounts used in those studies are often much higher than what you would get from food alone, which means grapes are not a treatment, but they are a source of a beneficial compound. And when included as part of a balanced diet, they contribute to the bigger picture of health. I usually explain it like this. It's not about one compound doing everything. It's about many small compounds working together over time, and grapes are a great example of that. Simple, accessible, and beneficial when consumed regularly. Now let's move on to the next fruit. This one is one of the most common, but often underestimated. The next fruit is one you've probably had countless times. Apples. Simple, common, often overlooked, but nutritionally, they bring something very important to the table. Fiber, especially a type called pectin. This type of fiber plays a key role in supporting your gut health. And your gut is much more important than most people realize, because it's closely connected to your immune system, your metabolism, and even how your body manages inflammation. I often tell my patients, a healthy gut supports a healthier body overall. Apples also contain polyphenols, plant compounds that have been studied for their role in protecting cells from oxidative stress. Now again, this is not about a single fruit doing something dramatic. It's about what happens when these foods are part of your routine. There's a reason the phrase "an apple a day" has lasted for so long, because simple habits, when done consistently, tend to have the biggest impact over time, and apples are one of the easiest ways to build that habit. Now let's move on to the final group. These are some of the most well-known fruits, but their role goes deeper than most people think. The final group is citrus fruits. Oranges, lemons, grapefruits. These are some of the most recognized fruits when it comes to health, and for a good reason. They are rich in vitamin C, one of the most important nutrients for your body. Vitamin C plays a key role in supporting your immune system, helping repair tissues, and protecting cells from oxidative stress. But there's more. Citrus fruits also contain flavonoids, plant compounds that have been studied for their role in reducing inflammation and supporting overall cellular health. Together, these compounds help create an environment where your body can function more efficiently. Again, this doesn't mean citrus fruits heal disease, but they do support the systems that help your body stay resilient. And that's the key idea in this entire video. It's not about one dramatic effect, it's about consistent support over time. Now, before we finish, there's one important mistake many people make, and it can completely change how they think about all of this. Here's where many people get it wrong. They look at a video like this and try to find the one fruit, the one solution, the one thing that's going to change everything. But that's not how the body works. There is no single food, no single nutrient that can do everything on its own. I've had patients ask me, "Doctor, which one should I focus on?" And my answer is always the same. It's not about choosing one. It's about building a pattern. Because your body doesn't respond to what you do once. It responds to what you do consistently. I explain it like this. Think of your health like a system. Every small input matters. What you eat, how you move, how you sleep, all of these factors work together. And fruits like the ones we talked about today are just one piece of that system. An important piece, but still just one part. When people expect a single food to do everything, they often miss the bigger picture. And that's where real progress happens. Now let's talk about how to actually apply this in a way that's simple and realistic. So how do you actually apply this in a practical way? It's simpler than most people think. You don't need a complicated diet. You don't need extreme changes. You just need consistency. Start by including these fruits in your routine, not occasionally, but regularly. A handful of berries with breakfast, an apple during the day, citrus fruits as part of your meals, grapes as a simple snack, nothing extreme, just small additions, done consistently. The second step is variety. Each fruit brings different compounds, different nutrients, different benefits, and when you combine them, you support your body in a more complete way. And finally, focus on the long term, because what matters most is not what you eat once, but what you eat over weeks, months, years. I often tell my patients, health is built slowly, and it's maintained the same way. Now let's bring everything together, because this final part is what truly matters. So let's bring this together. The idea that a single fruit can kill cancer or heal disease is an oversimplification, but behind those claims, there is something real. Because certain fruits contain compounds that help support your body at a deeper level. We talked about berries, rich in antioxidants, grapes, with compounds like resveratrol, apples, supporting gut health and overall balance, and citrus fruits, providing vitamin C and flavonoids. None of these are magic, but together, and used consistently, they help create an internal environment that supports your body's natural defenses. And over time, that matters more than any quick solution, because real health is built on what you do every day. Not occasionally, not perfectly, but consistently. If this video helped you, share it with someone who might benefit from it. And if you want more clear, practical insights like this, focused on helping you understand your body and support your health, make sure to subscribe. I'm Dr. Adrian Keller. Stay consistent, stay informed, and take care of your health. I'll see you in the next video.